to you live from the Picket Studios in Houston, Texas. This is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
Good morning and welcome to the Realty Ruckus out of the Picket Realty Studios. It is Friday of the new year.
I forgot what day it was.
It is Friday of the new year. You know what? I'm still kind of getting out of vacation mode. For you guys that don't know, I've been out for a little while. I took a little trip. I've been out for a whole week, which felt great because usually my vacations are really short. I usually take like 3-day vacations, right? This is one of the few that I've gone out for an entire week, and man, I gotta tell you, it felt great. I mean, I'm starting the year fresh. I feel strong. I'm prepared to just come in and just start crushing it, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about doing that because I feel like everyone around me has that same feeling right now. So you know, I gotta tell you, the first thing that we did on the plane coming back was plan for our mid-year vacation. So we're gonna do like a mid-year big vacation.
That's awesome, man.
We're gonna take out. We're gonna leave for like 10 or 15 days, and
wow.
We're gonna go tour all of Mexico and all of Colombia, and we do that mainly because we want our kids to know, you know, what. You know, they're half and half, so we want them to have, you know, that knowledge of where their parents come from. So we've already started working on that, and it's, you know, it's cool, man. It was a great experience. I tell you what I didn't like about my vacation, going to Disney World. It is so overrated, you guys, and like I feel like everyone always like plans, like they make like these like, you know, these plans in their head about how they're gonna like go to Disney World and it's gonna be this, you know, fantastic place. And when you stand in line for 2 hours for a 3-minute little, you know, like silly little ride, you realize what a waste that is.
Well, and the problem with Disney World is that it's real child oriented.
Yeah.
But it's child oriented to like kids in the 50s and 60s, you know?
Yeah.
It feels really old school.
You know, my kids ended up having a good time, but I mean, we go out of our way to make sure that they have a good time. You know, like they had this dance party, which was cool, you know, and like Goofy and Minnie and all the characters came out, and you know, we'll actually like go out and dance with them and just make sure that our kids are enjoying their time. But it's hard to be there we were there 12 hours. So it's hard to be at a park 12 hours, and believe it or not, I actually had to get wheelchaired out of Disney World.
What
Yes,
the hell?
it was that bad.
What
did you do?
happened?
Well, you know, my foot's been killing me recently. I'm still
God.
recovering from broken foot. So like towards the end, my foot just gave out. It was just like, that's it, man. I've had enough Mickey and I've had enough Minnie for the day. You're not gonna be able to walk out. So I had to get wheelchaired out of there. But it was like a great way to end the day. It was like, all right, that's it. You went as far as you could.
That
you
is
know?
hilarious,
Yeah.
man.
I want to talk about New Year's resolutions because I feel like that's on everyone's mind right now. Like,
Yeah, and before we go into that, I just want to get, if we can get some thumbs up from the people watching, we just want to make sure all the audio levels are right. We've set things up a little bit differently. We've got some different cables running.
They said that Jonathan Cohen commented that he didn't know if he was watching the Ruckus or not because you didn't have your creeper stash.
It's not the Ruckus without
that's
the
so
stash.
true. No creeper stash.
You guys asked for it. I give the people what they want. I'm a man of the people.
Okay, so we did get a couple of thumbs ups. That means that people can
That's
hear us
awesome,
and
man.
see
Yeah.
us. Thanks again for joining us here at the Realty Ruckus. Don't forget that you can drop all your questions, comments, concerns, anything that you want to talk about below, and we are happy to talk to you, argue with you, whatever it takes to help your business grow. That's what we're here to do. So again, let's get back to New Year's resolutions because that's on everyone's mind. I know that it's on my mind. I know that everyone has already started creating their New Year's resolutions.
Or already failed at their New Year's
They're already
resolution.
failed it. If you didn't wake up and go running 3 miles this morning, you've already failed at your losing weight New Year's resolution. All right, mine doesn't start till next week, so I'm clear. I'm good.
okay.
I'm good.
Well, I will say this. For the people that did make a New Year's resolution and already broke it, you can get back on the wagon.
Yeah.
Just because you fell off the wagon doesn't mean you have to stay off the wagon. And I feel like sometimes that's the biggest thing is like somebody will start a diet, right? And they'll be like, oh, I'm not going to eat anything sweet. And then on day 2 or 3, they go to, down to the ice cream shop and they buy an ice cream. They're like, well, I guess that's it for the rest of the year. Time to be fat again.
Yeah. I'll start next year.
2018, maybe that'll be the year I can do it.
Here's the thing. It's funny because if you go to the gym right now, you
it's
can't even find like
packed.
a machine to
it's
sit on or
horrible.
run on or anything. I mean, everyone decides now is the time to lose weight. Everyone decides now is the time to start new or do things right or whatever. And I hear you. I understand that, but I know we're running out of time. So there's one thing that made really a lot of sense to me last year, and I think it's going to move on to this year. And it's just just an accumulation of things that have happened to me, things that I see going on with you guys here in the team and whatnot.
Yeah.
BB, you said it. If you can improve yourself 1% every day, you can basically, essentially, double yourself 3 times a year. Imagine that. Just 1% a day. That's all you have to do. You don't have to become a marathon runner now. You can just start working on that. Just 1%.
Yeah, improve
every
1% a day.
day. So anyway, we gotta take a quick commercial break. We have a great show planned out for you guys. It's gonna be a great one. One of the best ones we've had
The
so far.
first
We're
actual
excited.
show of 2017. Too.
Yes, first actual show of 2017.
Yeah.
We got the whole new setup now, so I'm all excited. Anyways, we're gonna take a break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we will answer your questions live on the air. Now, we're really excited to have our host back because as much as me and David like to host the show, we like to talk about more nerdy things.
Just a little bit more
The
nerdy.
ambience of the show is a little bit different when it's just me and David, so it's nice to have our host back, Alan.
You guys definitely take it to the next nerd level. That's with no doubt about
No,
it.
it's more so BB, I would have to say, because when you're not here, he's like, yes. And you heard him, man. He went on a nerd rant on the last
you
episode.
totally went on a nerd rant. It's kind of funny. You guys try to out nerd each other.
We try to out-nerd
It's
each
pretty
other?
hilarious.
I'm not
I
even
like
sure what
watching
that
you guys
means.
trying to do that. It's like a nerd competition.
It's a nerd off.
It's a nerd off. We should have that actually. That should be like part of the show. What do you do when you get into a competition between two nerds and there's absolutely nothing you can do to win besides just out nerd one?
Oh, right now, I'll make a challenge to any one of our listeners. I will go head to toe on a Jeopardy round with them.
Jeopardy?
Live Jeopardy round on the show next week. Whoever wants to do
let's
it,
do
let's
that.
do it.
Who is our biggest,
One-on-one.
nerdiest viewer? And BB will challenge you to a round of.
Oh, they got to be really
What is
brave.
it? What are you playing?
It's a nerd off.
Jeopardy.
It's a Jeopardy nerd off. Yeah, it's
a
just
Jeopardy
trivia.
nerd off, and we'll go live on it just for you guys, for your viewing enjoyment, because we love to show off how nerdy we are. All right, so we want to talk a little bit about what's happening in Houston multifamily, because I know that's been on everyone's thoughts lately. Right?
Yeah, it's been a really big topic.
Like people online are like arguing about it. There's like all this discussion.
Really?
There's people that are ticked off about like, you know, naysayers, and there's naysayers saying, hey, I'm not a naysayer, I'm just a realist, and that's usually what happens anyway. That's just the way naysayers work. But the truth is that we've seen some changes in Houston's multifamily that we haven't seen before. Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So last year in October, they posted out statistics showing that Class A occupancy had dropped to 86%, which was the lowest number in several years, and Class B had gone way up. Now, what happens from that? Class A starts to put out incentives to raise their occupancy again, right? That's existing Class A. Now, here's the problem. What happens when the other, I think it said like 17 complexes with at least 1,000 tenants or more go active, go live? That's 17,000 more units that are going Class A. That's only Class A going up on the market. I just think that's going to have a major effect on the Houston real estate market.
Well, it's going to have such a major effect that according to Chron.com, Houston is now dropped off the list of top cities for foreign investment. All right,
wow.
You got to keep in mind that Houston has been on the top 5 for approximately the last 25 years, right?
Wow.
Like it's been way up there. People
So how
across
far
the
off
world,
the list did we drop?
we've dropped way low, and it's so what they're saying is that
we're not like Chicago levels, are we? Or Detroit.
we're
level.
not Detroit level.
We're not Detroit.
We should play that video for them. No, you know, here's the thing. When you're a foreign investor, and it's usually, you know, foreign investment companies who come together and they put these huge conglomerates of money together to bring here, it's not because they're looking for risky transactions. It's not because they're looking for this huge gain, this opportunity that they're going to turn, you know, they're going to double their money or whatnot. Actually, what they're looking for is safety. So when a big investment company says, hey, I want to invest, you know, millions or more, they're just wanting to park their money somewhere and hope they don't lose it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
All right, so when your city falls off the radar, when your city falls off the top 5, guess what that means? I mean, that's a big deal.
No, it really is.
It's a big game changer, and it says a lot about where our city potentially is going in terms of multifamily. Now, you know, does that mean that you know our city's gonna like collapse tomorrow? No, I'm not trying to like spell doomsday here, but I'm saying that these are things that we need to watch out for. These are things that are happening right now in our current local market. That even if you're a naysayer and you wanna be optimistic about everything, which I'm cool with. I love being optimistic. You have to realize that these things are happening right now.
Yeah, no, and well, like with the multifamily, it's a domino effect in there. It's Class A gets low occupancy. So what happens? Class B says, hey, I can now afford Class A for the exact same price, but double the amenities. Let me go to Class A. So what happens? Now you have a drop in Class B.
That's right.
So Class C, it says, hey, there's a bunch of incentives now in Class B, and I can live in a Class B almost at the same price. Let me move to a Class B.
So why would I live in a Class C, right?
Yeah, why would I live in a Class C when I can go to a Class B for almost the same price? And it's that domino effect. It keeps falling all the way down until you have a collapse of the multifamily market.
Exactly. And you know, we're not saying that, you know, tomorrow there's going to be absolutely no opportunity in the multifamily market. We're saying the opportunity is coming because of this that is happening.
Yeah, you want to wait until those rent rolls go really, really low and people start selling off their complexes and then jump on
and
them.
I remember those opportunities back in the day when they were available, when you could buy properties, you could buy a multifamily unit for $20,000 a door or less. I remember those opportunities being around.
Yeah.
And us not being prepared for those and therefore not capitalizing on them. Those I think will come around again. Those are getting ready to happen as we see this you know shift in the market.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, and I want to be real clear, we're talking about inner city Houston.
Yeah.
We're talking about
Yeah,
Houston
Houston.
metropolitan, real Houston,
Yeah.
or areas like Woodlands that actually have Class A. I'm not talking about like Pasadena. Good luck finding a Class A in Pasadena. or really like
Because there's always like that one viewer that'll be like, well, you know, in LaPorte, I get the best returns. And it's like, dude, LaPorte's LaPorte.
Yeah,
you know?
we're talking
It's
about
like,
Houston.
Yeah, there's no
You
Class
know?
A to compete with, so you may have some Class B in areas like that, but it's mostly Class C and D, really, what
Yeah.
you're looking at. And you're not going to see the big changes if there is no competition from the A.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about the areas where the A is very prevalent. If you don't have that competition, you don't have anything to worry about. But I'm saying if you're going to come into Houston Metropolitan and try to invest in another Class A luxury apartment, you're doomed. You're setting yourself up for failure. You're going to have really low occupancy for a very long time unless you give massive incentives, which is what will wind up happening.
Yep.
And the Class Bs go up to your incentive levels, and that's where the dominoes start to fall.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I've actually had a couple of investors come up to me and they're ready. They're ready to get into these big Class A type scenarios.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've had to be like, hey, you know, I would love to help you buy this because I know I'm going to make this huge commission, but here's the reality of where I see things going, and you have to make a decision on whether you really want to do it now or just hold off a little bit. Just wait off, because there's always going to be that one owner or a couple of them who don't quite manage things quite right, that don't make it through that slump,
Yeah.
that are going to need to sell. And that's where you can actually pick up an opportunity.
Yeah, it's the people that start freaking out into C and Ds when they start losing tenants and they can't find good tenants. They only have really bad ones that say, hey, I just want to get rid of this.
Yeah.
That's your
Just
opportunity.
made me an offer, I got to get out.
Oh, yeah, that's where your opportunity to make a lot of money is. Unfortunately, we do have to go to a commercial break. We'll be right back, guys. Realty Ruckus. See you guys in a few.
Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we're having a really good discussion about the multifamily industry, but we want to jump into the discussion that we were having last year, and it's about brokerages and the potential for them to go extinct.
Well,
And
you know, there's
now-
all this talk about that.
Well, and one of the big things I keep saying over and over is users. You have to be able to get users in on it. You have to be able to get users in on it. And you have to have a platform that people actually want to utilize. Now, the problem is now one of the big players out there is actually stepping into the game. And the big player that I'm talking about is probably the biggest player in the world when it comes to social media, Facebook.
All right, so this is scary because we run our show on Facebook, right? And we thought Facebook was our friend. and it turns out Facebook is getting ready to potentially stab us in the back.
Well, no, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because what Facebook is doing is basically they developed a platform to host a virtual office, so to say.
Yeah.
So instead of a brick and mortar brokerage, what they're looking to do is replace basically what we're doing here.
Yeah.
We still all have the brokerage going, but now it's just completely virtual.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this still falls in line with the trend that we've seen and we've talked about recently, where everyone has decided, hey, you know what, I don't really need to work at a cubicle. I can work anywhere. I can work, from across the world if I have to, as long as I have access to the certain tools and resources.
And I'm actually curious. I'd like to get some of the listener feedback here. What are you guys' thoughts on like having meetings at a Starbucks instead of a conference table? Sitting down in an office, and especially when it's real sensitive. Like I brought in a couple one time to sign a contract with them, and their son had just passed away. I don't think a Starbucks would have been the appropriate place to go sign that contract. It was nice to be able to sit here in my office where it's quiet, and I was able to have an intimate moment with them and not feel like, hey, everyone around me is listening to everything that I'm saying. But what is everyone else's thought? Because if you have a virtual office on Facebook, you have to have meetings at places like coffee shops.
Yeah, I mean, and it's either that or you have to maybe get one of the other meeting places.
Like a Regis office, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you rent one of those and then just pay every time you meet, and you end up paying $25 or $30 every time you have a meeting.
I mean, that just makes sense, and those prices will drop as the supply of those type of places rise, and that's gonna shift as we see more virtual brokerages. I think that's a great idea. You have your virtual brokerage, you're disconnected, you can move around as you want, and then when you need that office space, I think in the future they'll be cheap enough where it does make it a good business sense.
Yeah, I think that maybe that was the issue, is because I know that shared offices was like the big thing in 2016. Everyone was like, oh, shared office space. We even got a bunch of emails from companies that were like, come out and check out our shared office space.
Yeah.
Host free events at our shared office space, even just so that people can become aware of it. And they never really got traction. And a lot of that has to do obviously with cost. But I think that David's right. They'll find ways to bring the cost of those shared office spaces down, and then it'll become affordable.
Here's the thing. And so we have this company that's getting ready to actually launch completely on Facebook. It's called BOCO Realty, BOCO Realty.
Okay.
And their whole premise is that everything that they do is going to be on the cloud, which we've already seen. It already exists. There's other brokerages out there like E.60 who already run in that platform. Yeah, you can just load everything to the cloud and never have to see us.
It's funny because the guy who left who found BOCO Realty came from E.60.
Okay, so they're connected in some kind of way already. All right, so this has already been tried. People have already gone this route. Here's my thing: when you're only focused, you as the agent, when you're only focused on doing 1 or 2 transactions a year, it's all right to just throw everything up on the cloud. But when you're running a real business, when you're serious about growing, when you're serious about relating with others and getting ideas and whatnot, it's impossible to be able to really run at full force just on the cloud, in my opinion. And that's just me saying it because I see how successful agents operate here in town, how successful people in Houston are doing it. And I don't see any of them just saying, well, you know what, I'm just going to upload all of everything that I do to the cloud, and I think you have to have a place to meet.
Yeah.
And here's what I think will happen is we'll have all these brokerages go up and, correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys are out there and think differently, feel free to throw out your opinions out there. But I think this is what will happen. We'll go through like this huge phase of brokerages all saying, you know what, I'm going to go virtual.
Everyone's going to go virtual.
Everyone will go virtual. And then guess what's going to separate the ones from the virtual ones? The ones that are going to have an office so that their agents can walk in and maybe,
that's a
new
bold prediction.
New bold prediction.
Everything will go virtual.
And you know what? It's going in that direction.
Yeah.
Our TVs are going virtual. How they used to say, hey, don't watch TV too close. Now you can just put your phone like this and go virtual, virtual on your phone.
Yeah, that's true, man. I never thought about that.
You remember that? Remember growing up and your mom would be like, don't you sit too close to the TV.
Or you're going to go blind. And now we're putting TVs
now
literally like an inch away from our eyes.
No one's gone blind yet, Mom.
Look now, Mom.
Take a look at that.
That's the first time I thought about that. I was like, man,
true,
that's very true, yeah.
It's funny because Hispanic parents tell you all sorts of things to keep you from doing things like that. But,
Yeah.
anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's not get into that conversation because I could go on and on about that, you guys.
That'll be a different show.
Yeah,
Here's
that's
the
the
thing.
Latino ruckus.
As far as what's happening out there with real estate and where Facebook is going, now we're seeing that Facebook is even ready to try to really cater services to small businesses.
Yeah.
And that's going to change the way small businesses operate. Because with Facebook aligned with a business like ours, it's going to be a lot easier to target a client. Here's the thing. I was sitting in a coffee shop, actually one of our fraternity brothers' coffee shops in Tampa, Roberto, and he owns a company called Blind Tiger. It's phenomenal coffee.
Oh, it's an amazing
phenomenal
coffee
shop
yeah.
in Tampa. He's got a couple of locations. They're doing
We
amazing.
should post a link to their.
We'll post a link below
They
and,
need to
and
open
give them
up
a big
shop
shout out
here in Houston because it's a really cool shop.
Actually, I've already talked to them about that.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
we're gonna figure something like that out here in the
Hey,
future.
That would be amazing.
Their Instagram content's on point too.
I met their Instagram person.
Their
Instagrammer person. She's awesome, by the way, and she gave us some good tips on where to go with our Instagram.
Awesome.
Look, long story short, he says, well, why, if I'm meeting with a broker or an agent, why should I go with someone that owns one brokerage or one office versus someone who works at a place with tons of hundreds of offices? And you know what I thought? I thought because social media has made it to where if you're an agent and you want to reach 20,000 agents, you can do it at just a click of a button.
Yeah.
You don't actually need to be part of this huge brokerage just for the name anymore, just because you think you have access to that network. Actually, it doesn't really even work that way. If you really wanted your listing to go to 20,000 agents, you drop an ad, you select only marketed to agents.
And you pay like $10.
And I was going to say, $5 to $10 a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah.
And
You
boom.
make a really good point because that was the power of those big brokerages before, their marketing power. But
Their
now,
name,
with these platforms that are so cheaply and sometimes freely available to agents, you can have almost the same reach as a huge corporation. I mean, look at us doing a freaking whatever.
I mean, when
news show.
So here's the
podcast.
thing. When I showed our brother Curioso or Roberto's Instagrammer what we were doing online, like there was a couple of things that she was baffled with, and I was like, hey, you know what? We're not too crazy with this thing yet. And look at that. I mean, imagine someone that's out there that really is trying to reach people, dude. They can totally do it, and it's not very expensive to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that even if you have 10 or 15 other brokerages go online and create these cloud brokerages, or go on Facebook and everything is through Facebook. I'm not sure that the need for an actual space to meet at is ever going to go away. I don't believe that.
Now, I've got something for you. And if you own a coffee shop, you might want to think about this. What about a coffee shop that has really small huddle rooms where you could go in and sit down and have your meeting in a private little bitty room, like a 6x6, small little space.
not a bad idea.
It's just enough for you to have privacy, be able to sit down.
Hold on, we're trademarking that right now.
Well,
you guys steal it.
You guys are a little late. Are a little late.
Well,
That's
okay,
actually part of what Blind Tiger does is they.
So Alan's gonna claim it as his own. And
Yeah, I know.
open the one in
I see what's
Houston.
happening here.
No.
Alan's
This is not even my own.
Alan's
I
like,
didn't-
yeah. We already thought about that before.
You guys are hilarious. You guys get a chance, make sure you guys look up Blind Tiger over in Tampa. It's a phenomenal place.
I posted the link to their Facebook page.
And they're next door they own a co-work, and that's part of what their marketing
That's true.
strategy
You
is.
did mention that before.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. But I'm not saying a co-work. I'm saying an actual true coffee shop that has small little areas that are private enough so you can go in, have a
little
private
breakout
meeting.
rooms.
Yeah, a little breakout room where you
like
go
a little
in.
12 by 12.
Yeah, think about like
a huge breakout room.
Yeah, like 12 by 12 is huge. I'm talking about like the study rooms in college that are like little 5 by 5 rooms where it's just one small table in there. And
like
one
5 people
person
can sit in there.
Yeah, maximum 4 to 5 people in that little bitty room.
Well, you guys heard it here, so whenever somebody puts it out there, we can actually go out there and sue them, I guess. We'll just call it, we'll just say we thought about it first.
That's my intellectual property.
and we just talked about going nerd, and I'm just allowing you guys to go that route. No, you guys, here's the thing. Is Facebook gonna take our business or bring more business? What do you guys think?
Definitely bring more business.
I think it's going to bring more business.
Yeah.
All it's doing, and people are going in here on this report and saying, oh my God, Facebook is our next adversary, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not that at all. They're just providing tools. Those tools are going to be available to anyone. All you have to do is pay for them. Obviously they're going to come at a cost.
Yeah.
And if you want to run your business entirely virtual, if you're the next agent that wants to start a brokerage and you want to just do it on Facebook, that's what they're providing. They're giving you the ability to do
now
that.
The cost of starting a brokerage is probably going to dive deeply as well. And now you're going to probably see all these virtual brokerages popping
But that's
up.
every business, though. That's every single Uber driver out there owns their own business.
Yeah.
They are their own taxi company, and they pay 20% to a lead service,
That's right.
which is Uber provides the leads to them.
That's right.
And that's what they're paying, 20%, but they're not having to pay for them up front. And same thing with Airbnb. Airbnb takes a cut. You get to open your own hotel that way. So that's technology.
And they provide the lead. They
provide you. They provide you the leads, and they take a little cut. And that's eventually going to be the same way for every industry, which is fantastic to me because we went from a period of everyone being really, really like small businesses. And then we had these huge corporate giants.
Yeah.
You know, here came Target, here came Walmart, here came Panda Express. You know,
Hey, don't you talk bad about Target
or Panda Express, right?
That's right.
But we're going back to the small micro, you know,
Yeah.
and that's wonderful. I love the idea that anyone can go out and start a small business with minimal cost nowadays. That's huge.
It's kind of interesting that you mentioned Walmart. And if you start looking at what's happening with big retailers right now, big retailers are closing down tons of stores.
That's true. Macy's.
Sears is closing down like over 100, I think.
Oh, we were just talking about this yesterday. Sears is on the verge of collapse. Like they were scrambling to find $2 billion of operating cash. Like they had to sell off Craftsman, which was one of their biggest assets, and it was worth about $2 billion on its own. They had to fire sell it for less than $900 million.
Wow.
You know, that's a big deal. And then you have Macy's laying off 10,000 employees and closing like 68 stores. That's a big deal.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Big retailers can't survive.
Big retailers can't compete with what's happening right now in the market. And what's happening is that if I want a jacket, I just go online and type, hey, I want a jacket, and boom, I order it.
And it's whoever markets that jacket the best to you, really.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's all it is.
Well, and the thing is, I hear people say all the time, well, you have to have stores because what about the things that I need right now? Hello, Amazon Prime. I've ordered like dog food on Amazon Prime, and it shows up an hour later at my door. I didn't have to go anywhere. I mean, it's amazing. The way that retail is changing.
You know,
is
here's
huge.
the thing, and once the drones get approved, and I believe some of them have been approved.
They recently got approved to
in
set
rural
up
areas.
a drone warehouse. So there's going to be a floating warehouse in the sky that's going to have drones deployed from it constantly delivering packages.
Okay, once that is actually in action, and you can say, you know what, I want a jacket and I want it now, and it gets here in the next hour or two, that's it. You can forget about where retail is going. They're going to have to completely change their system.
Oh, yeah, the game is going to change for sure. It's already changing. And here's the thing, technology is doubling twice every 2 years. So we're doubling every 2 years. So what you saw in 2016 will be completely different in 2017 and double what it was in 2018. It's
How
an
awesome is that?
exponential growth.
I love
crazy.
it. I'm excited for what's getting ready to happen in our market. With the things that we're going to see just this year are going to be awesome, you guys. All right, we got to take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you're interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we can answer your questions live on the air. Now, we're having a pretty good discussion today. A lot of good discussions, actually.
Come on, baby.
A lot of good destruction.
One thing that I did realize is I made a big mistake earlier, and I forgot to let David tell us what the weather looks like for this weekend.
Oh, my God. How can we go without the weather,
I
man?
know.
Oh, you done
What's
messed
going
up.
on with us today?
I blew it, but guys, let me start over again. This is Realty Ruckus. David, how's the weather out there?
Well, guys, we are experiencing, in case you did not notice, we're experiencing a bit of a cold snap during this time. The high today is actually going to be 38.
That's the high?
That's the high. And it's
Jesus.
going to get pretty chilly tonight. It's going to be 27. We might see some wintry precipitation, so you guys be really careful out there tonight. If you're going to be on the, you know what, just avoid the roads. Houstonians already don't know how to drive.
Houston
don't
people are
drive on
horrible
icy
at driving
roads.
in this weather.
What do they call it? Black ice, I think. Whenever it
black
rains
ice.
and it gets iced up on the roads. Yeah, be
Yeah.
careful out there, guys. Especially over those bridges. They're not joking when they say bridge ices when cold.
Yeah.
It actually does produce ice over the top of the bridge. It
Yeah.
can be really dangerous.
Try not to drive out, you guys. Make sure that you also wrap all of your piping on your houses.
Yeah, the
because
three
that can-
P's, pipes, pets, and plants, I think.
There you go.
Never heard that before. The three
I like
P's.
that one.
Yeah,
we gotta
great,
drop
man.
that one in the comments below,
Pipes,
you guys.
pets, and plants.
By the way, there's also just a good piece of advice. Make sure you send a text to all your tenants if you have tenants, and let them know to do the
Yes.
same thing. Hey,
Great advice.
I need you to make sure you know the 3 P's, knock them out, because tonight it's gonna freeze, and last thing you want is to get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning because a pipe bursted and your house is flooding.
Oh, absolutely. And just so everyone knows, now there is an ordinance that when it's under 45 degrees, you cannot have your animals outside for more than 15 minutes, or you can be ticketed for animal cruelty. So that's something the city of Houston passed at
Good.
the end of 2016
Yeah.
for all the animals that were being left chained outside. Yeah.
I wonder how the people in the Heights that have chickens do it. Like, do you think they actually like?
I don't think chickens count.
The chickens don't count. They're not.
No.
They're not considered pets.
I think they would probably just put like maybe a little space heater in their coop, or put some extra,
And
It's
that's
just
how,
a joke,
that's,
you
and
guys.
that's how,
I really wasn't wondering.
and
what
that's
the
how
chickens-
fires start. See, this is what happens when
well, you want to discuss? Let's discuss it. How do we keep our chickens?
you want to
warm in
bring
the
up a
winter?
nerd discussion, but you don't want.
Oh
your
no.
nerd
Let me
answers.
take that back to you guys.
All right, you want to talk about something else?
I
then?
do. I want to talk about our incoming president and what his new policy on immigration is going to mean for real estate. All right, and I think besides all of the stuff that we already know and the impending doom that people feel right now, I think there is a potential for some opportunity here, and I think there's a reason why.
Well, and do you guys remember there was a movie that came out, probably like 2001, 2002, called A Day Without a Mexican?
Yeah,
You
that
guys
was
remember
really
that movie?
funny.
So
Yes.
for the listeners,
You aren't Mexican if you didn't watch that movie.
yeah. So for the listeners who don't know, A Day Without a Mexican, the whole premise is it's a movie where all Mexicans in the United States disappear from one day to another,
Yeah.
and industry falls apart. There's no one there to pick like tomatoes. There's no one there to get the avocados and vegetables and all the other jobs that illegal immigrants do for like $1 or $2 an hour
Yeah.
that American workers are not willing to do because we expect to get at least a minimum wage, right? And so the movie made a really good point. But now one analyst has actually gone in and said, okay, let's look at the ramifications of actually deporting everyone that's illegal, but let's look at it in terms of the housing market.
Yeah.
Because you have to think, okay, fine, we get rid of all the illegal immigrants and you solve one problem, right?
Yeah.
Illegal immigration is a problem.
It's illegal.
Sure.
It's illegal.
You're breaking the law.
And so you're breaking the law, so I get that. You send them all back, but then you have to think about what happens to the U.S. and not in terms of economy of that part, but the actual housing market, which really drives the economy. We saw in 2006, housing market crashes,
Economy follows.
world economy falls apart.
Yeah.
And so what he's looking at is, and this is really interesting. So he says that every household out there, about 1/3 of those households, they have an illegal immigrant living there who contributes towards the payment of those houses.
Yeah.
Right? So there's somebody in that household, whether it's the head of household or whether it's somebody living there, they're contributing towards the payment of that house.
Yeah, and you're talking about nearly 1/3 of undocumented Latinos live in houses that are legally owned by legal residents.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
That's what I was saying. Thank you
But
for
he's
clarifying.
saying that one of those undocumented individuals is contributing to the payment of that project.
Yes,
exactly.
yes. So they're contributing to the payment of that house. And so what they're saying is, if you were to go and round up everybody and you were to take them away, you're leaving about 1/3 of those houses without enough money to afford the house.
Yeah.
So you're actually triggering a second economic collapse in the housing market because you're going to have foreclosures coming left and right.
Well, there's just going to be a lot of people who are no longer going to be able to afford their house.
Because they're relying on that income from those undocumented people to pay that note. I mean, is there any data on that would show something like that could actually happen? Or
Yeah, so he actually uses real data based off of the census. 2010, I believe, is what the census that they were looking at. But it all has to do with real data. And what he's saying is that, and let's just be clear, Trump's already came out and said that he doesn't intend to deport everybody. He intends to start with criminals that are locked up, and if you commit crimes and you're illegal, then you'll be deported. There is no more.
Which who doesn't agree with that? Like, who wants criminals in here? Like,
oh, absolutely.
If you want to come in here and not do the right thing, then yeah, you gotta. I agree with that. You gotta get back.
Me actually, I've never personally understood why, if we know that somebody's here illegal and they committed a crime, why we keep them here, why we're not already deporting them.
Exactly.
That's always been a question I've always had. But so just to be clear, he doesn't intend to do it. But the guy was looking at hypotheticals.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty interesting because if we do see something like that happening, investors be ready.
I think it's kind of funny just to think about like what investors are going to put together in terms of advertising. You know,
my God!
Are they gonna be like?
You mean like the postcards right now that say like foreclosure, but instead they're gonna be like illegal?
Yeah. Are you illegal? I will buy your house.
Yeah, I will buy your house.
Yo compro tu casa. You know, something like that. You know, like I wonder if it would actually get to that point, like where we would actually see, you know, an advertisement or a postcard of that sort.
Man, that's an interesting question. I would be willing to bet that
You know?
Yeah.
Are people going to go through HCAD and find everyone that has a Hispanic last name and send them a postcard? You know what I mean? Like, would it go that far? You know, to be able to target people who are potentially illegal.
Yeah.
And how else would you know besides looking for, you know, a Hispanic last name and start sending them advertisements? You know? So,
yeah, no, it's pretty wild. But I just think it's interesting that we always forget, like, we want very big, drastic changes, but we forget about how big of an effect they can have immediately in that moment. And so when you make that big, drastic change, you solve one problem, but now you've created a whole nother problem that might even be bigger than the first problem.
Yep.
And I think that's really the big idea there. But let's jump away from Trump for a little bit.
We don't like talking about Trump too much.
Yeah, we don't like talking a lot of politics.
But
on
I think I think it was worth bringing up to understand what would happen if you did deport everyone and how that would affect our economy and what that would do in terms of creating opportunity. So that's something we all cover. But let's talk about something else, because right now January is the month where everyone who's ever wanted to become an entrepreneur is all of a sudden an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed that? It's like, all right, I'm not gonna start my new business till like January 1st. You know what I mean? Like, that's the date that everyone starts. And it's kind of funny because it's true. You know, like if you're gonna start something new, you wanna shoot for the beginning of the year for whatever reason. You're set up that way.
It's just funny to me how we've set January 1st as like this arbitrary date where we make resolutions, we start businesses. That's your new fresh start. It's like, no, it's just a day. Like, you can choose tomorrow. I want to do this tomorrow. You can do it in the middle of the year.
Day. Yeah, but for some reason the public likes to use this day. Anyway, so there's a ton of people out there right now, some of which may even be listening to us, who are saying, you know what, I'm ready to be unemployed. I'm ready to go out there and start my own thing.
I'm ready to be unemployed. I'm ready to be an entrepreneur.
That's the truth. What's the difference?
You are unemployed because no one's employing you.
Exactly.
Hey, you guys are right. You guys are right.
Here we go with BB and his technicality. We did talk about going nerd a while ago. So what happens when you decide to be unemployed and employ yourself? What happens? What are some of the things that aspiring
Self-employed. I think self-employed is a better term.
Self-employed is a much better term. I like the other one. So what are some of the things that people can do out there? What are some tips that they should be doing, especially when it comes to real estate? Because this is when most people will get into it. And think about it even in terms of like agents for us. Like when do people shoot forward to start their new like career in real estate? They shoot for like the beginning of the year. You know what I mean? When do existing agents say that they're gonna move to a new brokerage? The beginning of the year. Like this is just that time of year for everyone. So I wanted to go over a couple of things a couple of tips for new entrepreneurs, people out there who are getting into it, starting something new, starting fresh, what you shouldn't be doing, and how to make the best out of 2017. One of which, for sure, and it talks about it here, and we'll drop the report down below. The first thing it says is test the market, and I thought that was an interesting idea. But the question is, how do you test the market? What are you doing, and how are you going about testing that market to make sure that what you're doing and what you're trying to get into isn't going to just completely collapse?
Yeah.
So it's interesting because when you're in real estate, you generally have just a couple of niches that you can fall into, but I think understanding what that niche is and what you're good at is important. And I remember there was a time where another broker here in town called me and said, "Hey, what advice would you give me? I'm getting ready to start my own brokerage. What advice would you give me, and what things would you change?" And I remember saying, "You know what? Here's the thing. When we started, we had no idea we'd be here now. And it's totally different than when we did start. And that tends to happen. It actually goes on to my next tip here, which is...
And just going with your first tip, I think that, and this goes entrepreneurship in general, this is not only real estate, but it goes back to the old acronym KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And that is very, very true, because too many entrepreneurs, they have like this amazing master plan, but they want the entire master plan to be ready from day one. And the reality is that's usually not possible. It takes years to get to the end of that master plan. So you have to be willing to say, this is what I'm really, really good at in this moment. Let me initiate with that and then grow from there.
How guilty am I of that? Don't you guys have like some key word for that, like some secret word to keep
we can't tell everybody else that they're going to use it too.
That's the way I am. I want everything, and I want it now, and I want it done, and I know that tends to be part of just my personality profile.
I think most entrepreneurs are like that, but I think that also you don't want to get stuck in wishing that you had things and not actually doing anything.
That's absolutely right.
You need to just get going with what you actually have and then build onto your plan from there. That's the biggest thing I would tell an entrepreneur that goes along with what you were saying. Now, your number 2 is really good.
Number 2 is very interesting, and this goes in line with what I told the broker that called me. It's prepare for the shift. The shift means that just because you're doing something now doesn't mean that you can't do something else later.
Or just because you had something planned in your master plan, you got to be prepared to throw that master plan out the window, because it's going to happen.
It says to embrace the humble pie. And how beautiful are those words? Be humble enough to be able to ditch your ego and know that if something didn't work, just try it. Try it again. Try something else if you have to.
I'll give you guys a perfect example. There's a company out there, multi-billion-dollar company. And they started off with one business model and said, scrap that, not working, went to a completely different business model.
Yeah.
They were very tiny before, they're huge now. That company's called Uber. Mm-hmm. They started off just as a black car service. That's all they were. They would meet people at the airports and drive them in really nice luxury cars. And they were like, we don't have enough business. Mm-hmm. They thought from the beginning, they were like, that's a great idea. But then they were like, we're not getting enough business. Mm-hmm. How can we shift this model? Well, let's just start picking up regular people around town. And let's not only use black cars, let's just use any car that's decently nice enough to go pick up people in.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to shift on your original model and grow from there.
You know what? I completely agree with you. It's okay to be able to shift your model. Yeah. You don't have to stick to something that's not working. And if it's not working, that's the best thing you can do.
I think not only is it okay, you're going to have to.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You have to do it, and you have to be okay with it. All right, number 3, we're running out of time.
Yeah,
burn the ships. Burn the ships. How much do we talk about that?
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time with our team. Hey, you know what? If you're going to fail fail big.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Go out there, take action. And, you know, I read something online, someone saying imperfect action is better than no action. That is so true.
Yeah,
you
just
guys.
do it.
Just go out there and do it. Burn the ships. Give it 100%. If you make it, great. If you completely fail, you fail miserably, but you learn. You learn from your mistakes and you keep trying.
And we always say, if you're going to fail great.
That's right. That's right. All right. Last but not least, love the customer, not the product or service. Fall in love with the people that you're servicing and find ways to create value for them at all times. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so I can't finish my list. But when we get back, we'll finish talking a little bit more about this, as well as cover all of the amazing events that we have planned. You guys definitely want to stay on for this. We have a great setup. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service and an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us live during the show, we will answer your questions live on the air. Now, we're having a really good discussion about things that entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of people who want to become entrepreneurs, or they take the leap of faith here at the beginning of the year, and we're giving them tips on things that they can do to be better entrepreneurs. And some of these tips are just general tips, but some of them, guys, they really do come from our own mistakes. So if you want to avoid making those same mistakes, which you should, then you want to really pay attention to these tips.
You know, one of the things that we love about putting this show on for you guys is that you have the opportunity to learn with us, and you get a chance to see us grow as much as we get a chance to see you grow. And it's been a phenomenal experience from our end, and I know that we get some feedback every once in a while from some of our viewers who share the same feelings, share the same experience, and it's great. It's a great way to help each other in this scenario. I do want to cover at least two more of the points on this list because I feel like they're very, very important in terms of success for 2017. Number 6 being commit and let the passion flow. Enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
Truly enjoy what you're doing. I met with one of my really close friends over the weekend, engineer, top level engineer for large company Schlumberger, who decided a year ago that he was not going to work anymore. That was it. He had had enough, right? And during our discussion, he mentioned that his work, even though it paid amazingly, even though it paid great, right, was so stressful and so hard that he would take more than a 50% cut to just reduce the stress.
Wow, that's amazing.
Okay,
it's true though.
So when he said that, I was like, man, I'm obviously I didn't want to verbalize it, but I felt so blessed to be able to be in in a place like where we are at, where we enjoy what we do. We're everything that we do it because we're smiling and we're passionate about it, and
we want to do it.
And we want to do it. We're not just, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's a really big point. Is it's still stressful. If you think that becoming an entrepreneur, you're not going to have any stress, like, oh, I left my job, no more stress anymore. There's still stresses, but there's stresses and challenges that you actually enjoy. There's like problems that you like solving. It's not, oh, I got to go solve somebody else's problems that I don't like.
Yeah, it's not a stress or challenge that somebody else put on you. It's the stress and challenge that you put on yourself.
Yeah, absolutely, because you want to be the best, of course. And so last but not least, in order to be the best, and here's the way it works, and here's the reality of it, and here's one thing that we have committed to, it's self-development. Now, what I mean by that is your education never stops. If you're just getting started, if you want to invest in anything this year, invest in yourself. Invest in going out to seminars. Invest your time in going out to local classes. Invest in going out to even the large ones that we've been to, the big, 5 or 6 day events who are going to have a ton of breakout courses, and you got to spend, even up to $3,000 or $4,000 on them. I didn't start doing that and taking it real seriously till last year, and I can tell you it's made a vast difference in me, myself, personal, us as a group, as an organization, and I see how it's just just going through us as well as every one of our agents and everyone else who's,
and as an
who's
organization, we've grown to be committed to that education and making sure that our agents consistently are educated and receive training, and I think that's beautiful. I mean, that's the way to grow a business right there.
Well, yeah, and so often I hear people say, "Well, no, it's too expensive. Oh, I don't want to spend the money going to that conference. That conference is too expensive." And my thought back is, think about all the nuggets that you could learn. And what could that conference cost? At the most, $2,500. That's some of the most expensive conferences I've seen are like $2,500.
Yeah.
$2,500, but if you go there and you can pick up 2 or 3 nuggets that transform your business, and you can make more than $2,500,
then it's too expensive not to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's too expensive not to go. The act of not going is going to cost you more.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we like you said, we make sure that all of our agents, we're harping on them consistently to listen to the Automobile MBA, to pick up a book and read it, to learn something about being better at life, not just in real estate, but just all around. Because here's the thing about having a successful business, and we've just, we've learned this from hit and miss, trial and error, and hitting some dead ends. Success is something you attract. It's not something you pursue. By sitting there and bettering yourselves, you will realize that success comes to you. So if there's any tip that I can give you personally, it's that. Focus on growing yourself this year. And because that's what we're going to be focused on, and we're all going to see success in 2017, regardless of the market, what it's doing, et cetera, et cetera. That's the only outcome that can happen from that. We do have to cover the events. I want to make sure that we talk about that.
No, and that's perfect, because talking about growing, we do have some events coming up that are perfect to help realtors and those involved in the real estate industry grow. The first one coming up is January 10th. Noble Mortgage is hosting a 2017 forecast panel. You can find the information for that event on Houston Real Estate Events. And 2 days after that, White Picket and Premier Nationwide Lending with the Eric Maya team, we're going to be hosting the Crush It in 2017 goal setting class. And that was really awesome.
You guys, so we had a meeting with Eric last week before I left on vacation, and we sat down and just went over the things that we wanted to cover in this class. And man, it blew me away to think of where I would be personally if I had attended more of these classes when I first started my career.
Yeah.
Like what would have happened if these events would have been available for me? And unfortunately they weren't. And it's okay. It's not a big deal. But I got to tell you, if you're out there and you want to do better this year, there's nothing wrong with just coming to a place like White Picket or like Premier and saying, hey, what do you guys got? What have you guys learned? What mistakes have you guys made? Let me, help me avoid all of them. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you grow your business, and we're going to set you up with a full plan on how to do it, which is phenomenal. The minimum that you can expect out of this year, minimum, is to increase your business by 20%. And that's a huge number, you guys. That's a big, big number. If you're doing 100 plus doors a year, we're talking about 120. So make sure that you guys reserve your seat. We're gonna drop the link below. It's at eventbrite.com. So we'll drop the link. Get your seat reserved. Come out. It's a free event. We have sponsors covering all of your costs. So all of our sponsors are paying for you guys to come out.
We do have Goosehead Insurance. The Maria Segura agency is going to be covering lunch for us during that event.
Check that out. So we even have someone paying for your lunch. Imagine that. We're actually going to pay you to come out and help you grow your business. I mean, it's a no-brainer for you guys to come out. Make sure you save your seat because there are a minimum or a maximum amount of spots, and I do believe we're running out, so make sure you guys reserve one today. Now, last but not least, January 26th.
Yeah, January 26th, Maya team again is holding a event. This one's going to be in the northeast side of the city. It's going to be the power of social media, basically how to use social media to your advantage to grow your business.
I got to tell you, if there's one thing where people are being left behind, it's here. Like, social media is leaving a lot of small businesses, a lot of single-owned entrepreneurs behind.
Oh yeah.
So, and unfortunately, because you're so worried about catering to your clients and doing other things, you don't get a chance to really learn this stuff. Come out, learn about it. We'll teach you everything about it. And then
last big one, February. We are resuming our happy hour for 2017, guys. The White Picket and Jet Lending Real Estate Happy Hour. We do expect 200 plus real estate industry professionals to be there. Come enjoy some free cold beer, free food, and get to network and grow your network.
Let me ask you something. Is this just for real estate investors?
No, this isn't just for real estate investors. This is for anybody involved in the real estate industry. So realtors are more than welcome to come, investors, lenders.
How many private lenders have we met at this event?
Oh, tons.
How many deals have we done from this event?
Yeah.
And you know what? Our clients get a chance to come out and enjoy a free beer, some free food. They get a chance to visit our vendors. They get a chance to learn about what services we provide. And it's just a very casual place where you can come out and network with other people of like mind to help grow your business. Again, that's all we're here about. So make sure you reserve your seat for that too, you guys. Put that on your calendar. Unfortunately, we're at the end of our show. I feel like, man, we just started it like 5 minutes ago, you know? But don't forget that we're here every Tuesday and Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. I am your host, Alan Hernandez. Your co-producers, David Bonilla, Gibran Hernandez, right here sitting next to me. We'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to keep up your ruckus.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.